So, today I'm going to be making a very interesting video. I actually thought this was really interesting. I have it written in my notes, but in order to read it properly and make a video about it, I have to have it on a sheet of paper, so I printed it out. I have my daughter with me today.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hi. Yes. And this is called If Fish Could Talk. Deep sea telescope fish do not have scales. Instead, they have guanine skin. They live between 500 to 2,000 meters, or 0.311 to 1.243 miles underneath the sea. Guanine is one of 5 nucleobases that make up the human DNA and RNA nucleoacids. Does that mean approximately 1/5 of the human origin is derived from the telescope fish? You know, since it has guanine skin, like it doesn't have fully developed scales, it's more just covered in this guanine. And I thought that was very peculiar. Yes, she can say it better than I can. You can read this part. Say
What's even more interesting, that the deepest part of the ocean is the Pacific Mariana Trench, called Challenger Deep. We learned about that in school.
You read a whole passage?
Yeah.
You read a whole passage about Challenger Deep?
Yeah, in the Mariana Trench, and like the 7 wonders of the world. But this is one of them.
Well, indeed.
The deepest depth being 10,935 meters slash 35,876 feet,
or approximately 6.8 miles
below sea level. So every 100 meters, 328 feet, or approximately 0.06
or approximately 0.0621 miles,
the pressure increases. It made me wonder, what fish live on the deepest part of the ocean floor? I think it's like angler fish.
I think so, the lanternfish.
Yeah,
anglerfish.
So they can like see and stuff. They just developed it.
There's all kinds of fish that live on the ocean, in the deep sea.
There's like...
They look weird, don't they?
Yeah, my favorite are the hammerhead sharks, because they just look really nice. I like them.
Hammerhead sharks are cool. It is the snailfish, living around 6.8 miles, the same depth as the deepest part of the seafloor. To withstand the immense pressures, its body is made up of a gelatinous skin, made up of a low lipid, protein, and carbohydrate number, but a high water content, and could be considered pure collagen. So, you know what keeps your skin nice.
Collagen is translucent and colorless, just like snailfish, who cannot see color and whose bodies and organs are also transparent due to lacking of the pigmentation or the MC1R gene.
The MC1R gene?
That's what it said.
Oh, well. The snailfish's GLA protein, or BGLAP gene, has a frameshift mutation, which may abort the cellular process that causes calcification of cartilage.
Calcification. High vitamin K2 levels cause low calcium absorption or calcium loss in bones. High vitamin D3, sunlight.
Or sunlight. Vitamin D is sunlight. Vitamin D3. Mm-hmm. That's what sunlight turns into.
Helps calcify bones
So a high vitamin D3 exposure caused by sunlight helps calcify bones.
Since they are the deepest fish who are exposed to little to no sunlight, their bones are incompletely ossified. Does the snailfish's diet of
Crustaceans
contain a high level of vitamin K2 content?
Could this be the cure for diseases that cause calcification within the body, like osteoporosis or fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva? I'm not sure how to say that, so we're going to call it FOP.
Can I try?
Let her say the word. It's when your bones begin like fusing together and growing extra.
Fibrodysplasia ossifications progressiva.
It's a hard word, ain't it?
Yeah. The first word. The last one's just progressive with via at the end.
The snailfish's gene anatomy also includes a significant number of the FMO3 gene. The FMO3 gene makes the TMAO or TMO protein stabilizer.
That sounds like tomato or tomato.
Which is responsible for increasing water-hydrogen bonds to stabilize folded proteins. It also reduces or stabilizes the nitrogen found within the body and urea. Urea being like your pee or wastes. The higher up to the surface that fish live, exposure to vitamin D3 from the sun may reduce the amount of FMO3 genes present. Could this FMO3 gene hold the answer for divers and pilots alike to reduce sudden increases in blood nitrogen levels when diving or flying caused by higher pressures? Snailfish also have an increased membrane fluidity caused by a larger amount of genes that encode enzymes responsible for the transport of proteins and beta oxidation, producing more unsaturated fatty acids, making its body amorphous so it may withstand the pressures. So it can like morph its body more because of its gel-like structure and not completely calcified bones.
As the pressure decreases and the snailfish is exposed to less extremities, it begins to produce more lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and phospholipids instead of mostly unsaturated fatty acids. They become more monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats, which, as the pressure decreases even more, would eventually, on the human level, turn into a mixture of the above plus saturated fats.
The increased production of lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and fatty acids, along with the lessening pressure and potential increase in light exposure, causes the deep sea fish to develop a harder cellular membrane out of its gelatinous structure, decreasing its membrane fluidity, which allows its cellular plasma membranes to bind together and engulf and regulate its collagen by restructuring its fibroblasts to support growing connective tissues that make up its extracellular matrix. I have came to the conclusion and understanding that each fish found within the ocean depth each has one feature that eventually becomes the human. The deepest fish in the sea, or snailfish, could be seen as one of the first levels that build upon itself to create the living human. The snailfish represents the basement membrane, or first layer of the extracellular matrix, made up of potentially epithelial cells, collagen alpha 1, V11 or 7 chains, anchoring fibrils or collagen 7, VII, fibrillin, which is glycoprotein, microfibrillins, which includes glycoproteins and cellulose, all components that can be found within the human.
As the pressure decreases and the light from sun and food sources increase, the various fish species evolve. They begin to restructure its collagen to make its fibroblasts or a structure which allows its gel-like body and organs to grow harder, protected, and it also begins to experience increases in bone hardening.
This adaptation allows the fish creature to hold more DNA and RNA cellular sequences and bonds, who begin building functional stromal proteins and tissues that allow the various levels of the cellular extracellular matrix to communicate. These are only the beginning few formations of structures of various deep-sea fish that level up into the eventual human genome, which seems to be why the human's DNA and RNA has a guanine nucleotide base, and so does the telescope fish. But it had to start off as a collagen snailfish first. The natural order of things seems to be reversed in fish versus humans. In humans, the fibroblasts makes the collagen and extracellular matrix. Deep-sea fish, on the other hand, are made first out of collagen structures, who eventually begin to restructure themselves into collagen and the extracellular matrix as pressure decreases and light increases.
Fish of any sort, especially deep-sea fish, seems to hold the cures for many human diseases. Protect the oceans.
Gotta protect the oceans.
Do not let it turn into a dead sea by allowing chemical companies and other industries to keep contaminating the oceans and environments with their salty alkalines. Fish are very sensitive and are creatures who do not get enough love, recognition, or respect.
Yep. So, yep. Shout out to all the fish.
Fishies.
Yep.
Crabs.
The fish in the oceans are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stop making it extra salty.
Fish are nice.
Hasn't always been this salty.
Fish won't exist anymore one day, just like penguins are going extinct. Do you want penguins to
You didn't hear
go
about the
extinct?
galaxy guides where the dolphins chose to disappear?
Well, yeah, penguins are going extinct too, and there's a lot more. I mean, they're pretty nice animals. They're not doing anything to us, so we shouldn't be doing stuff to them.
There's also one down here, but he always hides.